Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. And in today's episode, I'm not trying to cause no unwanted noise being picked up off of my microphone, because I was trying to rearrange it and stuff. But anyways, I figured, you know what? Let me go ahead and do a final send off on this drama, And yeah, I think a lot of you guys know by now, especially with all the different content that I did earlier just throughout this year. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. If you don't know about me and Just a Robot's drama, I would imagine it might be on some stuff where you're new to the channel. You might be discovering this podcast episode a little bit later than most people. But, I will be kind of just going over the drama and stuff, and then just kind of giving you guys, my conclusions on all the different situations that came out of this drama. And then, also, just sending it off, giving it a proper send-off. But that is one thing that I am going to say, is that I am going to be offensive in this episode, So I guess if there are some things that I say that upsets some people, anybody outside of Just a Robot circle, so yeah, his friends, family, fans, Just a Robot himself, I don't care if I offend you guys. But anybody else, I do care. So if to anybody else outside of his circle, I apologize for the things I am getting ready to say. But this is something that you need to understand, all right? And just getting straight on into the episode, I have been dealing with Just a Robot for a long time. It ain't no, it's only been going on for a year or two. No, this has been going on for almost 10 years. April of next year, which is, next year is less than 48 hours away, but in April of 2026, it will mark 10 years since the drama between me and Just a Robot started. I'm not trying to have it where it gets to that point and I'm still making content on Just a Robot. Now, like I said before, the only way I will continue on Just a Robot content, but it ain't even going to be it's going to be like how it was this past year or any other year before that. Like I said, the only time I will make anything Just a Robot related is if I'm doing a story time, or if some new stuff comes up, or the main things that, like I said, is that if he does the call with the Op Block and K-Huck, then I'll do a call with Just a Robot. And I know he's going to want to ask me some questions, and I know I'm going to want to ask him some questions. So that'll be the only way that would happen, a call between me and Just a Robot. But other than that, I know he ain't going to accept that call, because he knows that he's going to be on the losing end of that argument. I guess in his brain, this will be the first time in his whole career that he done lost an argument. And you know what's funny? When you sit down and think about that, let's just talk about that. Just a Robot's argument skills. What's so special about them? What's so special about his argument skills, I guess, comparing it to somebody else's argument skills? And that's the thing with his quote-unquote skills and arguments. He's so passionate that he makes it seem like that. I guess so passionate about his argument skills. I have to say, as far as being a content creator, there ain't no passion there. But when he wants to sound right or be right, yeah, of course he's going to go and say some stuff like, oh, I done won every single argument that I've ever been a part of. But then he turns around and he gets on me for saying that at one point in time, I remember I had said that some years ago, that I was the hardest working content creator in Washington. And so I didn't say I was in the whole world. I didn't say in the country. I didn't say on the whole, or actually it was YouTuber. I said I was the hardest working YouTuber in Washington State. And he got on me for that. And I'm thinking to myself, it's okay, well, at least I have the evidence to showcase that I'm a hard-working content creator. What evidence do you have that you can showcase where you've won every single drama or argument that you've been a part of? You can't showcase any of that. You only say that because your fans were there to back you up. But a one-on-one argument, the funny thing is, who was it that he had that call? I think, wasn't it Yin or something like that? Hold on for a second. Let me, because I feel like if I'm going to be doing this video, I got to make sure I, say all the different names correctly and stuff. But anyways, let's see. Yin, Just a Robot. Yeah, so it was when he had that call with Yin. And I think that was that same call when the op block had joined in, and he backed out. He didn't want to be a part of that call no more. And I find it funny because it's like, okay, you had the time and opportunity to showcase how good you are at your argument skills and stuff. Why didn't you? Why didn't you have that call with the op block? What are you so scared of? I guess that the op block, he gonna bring up some dirt that we don't know about? He's gonna say something that's gonna upset you? It's like probably out of all of the people that have made videos about Just a Robot, I have to say that Just a Robot, he probably does look at him as the most threatening person to be making videos about him. And it's like, well, why is that? You didn't even explain or elaborate. You just chickened out and pretty much was like, no, I don't want to be a part of this call. I don't want to talk with them. Why? It's like, that's what I would like to know. Please answer that question. What are you because throughout this whole time of him, and I feel like the only time he would mention the op block is if the op block had got caught up in some drama themselves. That's when we'll see, Just a Robot wants to have a call and he can have some dirt. But that's the thing, he don't have no dirt on the op block, so that's why he can't have no call. But yeah, somebody like me, he's definitely gonna want to bring up some old stuff. Anybody else, I guess, he's gonna want to bring up some old stuff. And it just, even when I remember when me and K-Huck, we kind of had a little bit of a handicap match against Just a Robot. It was me and her against him on Twitter, and I could just see the responses that it was like he just didn't know how to properly respond to her, and then had to recruit one of his fans, I guess, to get into it with me. And it was funny because his fan, it pretty much showcased the racism that be traveling throughout Just a Robot's circle. But eventually the fan did call me the N-word, and I just found it funny. I'm like, that's the only thing that you guys got going for yourself, is that you want to say something offensive or do something offensive, I guess, to make it seem like that you won an argument, or you you're better than me when it comes to debating. And it's like, how many times, I guess, like when you see the presidential elections and stuff, did you see Trump or Biden, or even Kamala Harris, did you see it where they were having passing around racist insults to maybe Trump? But other than that, I'm like, you didn't see that from Kamala Harris. You didn't see that from Joe Biden. You didn't see that with Barack Obama. You only seen that with somebody that has racist tendencies, and that's Trump himself. So that's one thing about it with Just a Robot, is that if he ever tries to convince somebody, I guess it'll probably be a random stranger, but somebody like myself, for an example, if he ever tries to sit down and take the time to convince me that he's not a racist, I'm not gonna believe him. Why would I believe him? Throughout the years, fam, for those that don't know, I have been going at it with Just a Robot since I was 19 years old. I'm 29. It's just crazy to me that I have been going at it with him in two different eras of my life. It might have been at the tail end of my teenage years and stuff, but still though, my teenage years, my 20s, I'm not trying to have it where it goes into my 30s. So that's why I'm like, man, I sat down and I was thinking about that prior before recording this podcast episode, and it's like, dang, bro, where has the time gone? But overall, though, I'm like, with the racism, going back to that conversation and stuff, because there was even the one video where I mentioned that a few times, where it was the video where he was on a date with a black woman, and I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I feel like that proof needs to be shown, because I highly doubt, I don't even believe that his girlfriend agreed to him. That has to be a caretaker of his, or I don't know, it's just, I just refuse to believe that he has a girlfriend. I know people are going to say, oh yeah, no, he does have a girlfriend. Yeah, you're friends of his. Of course you're going to turn around and say that he has a girlfriend. If I told my friends that, oh yeah, go on the internet and say I got a girlfriend, of course they would do that, because we're friends. It's like they have that, I guess, that thing where I just don't, it's not even so much, because with Just a Robot and his people, he has a control over them where he has some dirt on them, and he's like, hey, you better go out on the internet and say that I have a girlfriend, otherwise I'm gonna leak out all this stuff about you and things. So that's why I bet people are most likely saying that he has a girlfriend. But Other than that, I'm like, I don't believe it, but no. So there was this clip that was going around. I really wish I could find that clip, but he goes on and says that he was on a date with a black woman, and I guess she asked him, what kind of trains do you like, or what's your favorite type of train? And he was like, I don't know, what's your favorite type of chicken or basketball team? And I'm like, there is no way possible you looked a black woman in the face and said that. I refuse to believe, unless I don't know, like this woman, what is it that they call it when the person ain't got like no limbs, like a quadriplegic or something like that, where they just, it's like she can't defend herself, but even then still, it's like she would be allowed to like say something and things. So I'm like, that's why as I sit down and think about that, at least the black women that I've met throughout my life, they wouldn't let nothing like that slide, like it's one of those things, right? And I think I might end up doing that at some point. I really need to start doing videos where I kind of get like the public involved, like them social experiment, but not like, doing like no cringy content, but just kind of like going over stuff on the internet that they don't, like most people don't really be hearing about. But I would really love to ask black women, how would you respond if a white man had said some stuff like that to you? Because I refuse to believe that Just a Robot says some stuff like that. It's one of those things. But then again, it's like he did say that he hadn't been fired from numerous jobs because of his mouth. So yeah, it would kind of, I guess, be believable. But at the same time, I'm like, I just don't think he has. If he can't have a conversation, and an online conversation with the op block, do you honestly truly believe that he looked a black woman in the face and asked her some racist question like that? Nah, he probably wanted to, but yeah, he probably truthfully answered that question, or he'd probably said, oh, I don't know, I don't know about different trains like that because my autism doesn't allow me to. Like his autism, it's funny how limited his autism is. Now this is probably where the content is gonna start getting offensive. I've never heard or seen nobody that has limited autism, where it's like he has like the basic plan of autism, but I feel like he has the basic plan, but he thinks he has the deluxe because he's getting some benefits and specialties and all that other stuff. And it's like, no, you're not getting specialties. You're special, but in a weird way. It's like not that way that your mom used to tell you when you were a kid to help you sleep at night. No, you're special. Like you definitely was riding on the short yellow bus, but it might have been a bus off to yourself because you couldn't coexist with other kids that were like you and stuff. But he did say that he was homeschooled. So it kind of in a way makes sense on who he is today. Like I'm not trying to say like all homeschooled kids grew up crazy and stuff, but I have heard like where some kids that were homeschooled, like if they spent like their whole, I guess, childhood being homeschooled, it can limit, their I guess thinking ability and stuff. Like they're not getting that experience as if you were to go to a public school or a private school or just any form of a school and stuff, even preschool and things. Like you're not getting that experience that a kid should get. And so, but that's the thing though, it's like even then still I feel like I heard somewhere that he went to college. So it's like, okay, at some point in time you did go to a school where there was like other kids. So my thing is this: Just a Robot comes off as a very impressionable person. You would think that, okay, you have your first time being exposed into a public environment, like, cause you was on some like Shawshank Redemption stuff. Like you had to break out of your household, because my thing is, it's either one of two things. The household that Just a Robot grew up in, it was probably an extremely toxic household, and that's why he's the person that he is today. Or it was one of the most positive households that he can possibly be a part of, but he still somehow, some way grew up just being toxic. And it's like, and his family still to this day tries to figure out like what's going on, like what's happening, what happened with him, like I guarantee and I promise you his family be having conversations behind his back, like we don't know where we went wrong. Like he was good at one point in time, but he snapped and he went crazy. And it's one of those things where I guarantee and I promise you, if they have weapons in the house, they're hidden, locked up, making sure of it. Like anytime when he's coming over, they don't have no knives out, they don't have no like blunt force objects out, nothing. It's probably probably a heavily padded home, because if somebody like Just a Robot, I just wouldn't trust the idea of him being in my house. Like, let's just say even if we were like friends, I wouldn't trust the idea of him being in my house. He doesn't strike me as the individual where he goes into a house and he's respectful, or it's like, it's like pretty much he has respect for the place that he's going into and things, so, but anyways. But yeah, kind of getting into talking more about Luke and stuff, because I think I did see that somewhere that he was, he did go to college, and I think I had read it was off of like one of those like, not really, it's not a fake Wikipedia website, but it's like Wikipedia but for content creators, and he has like a version of a Wikipedia page and stuff. I think you would just have to like Google his name and you'll see what I'm talking about. But anyways, it does talk on this moment where, let me see if I can actually find that like Wikipedia thing and stuff, but let's see. We have Wikitubia, that's what the website is. So it's like youtube.fandom.com, and then it's like a arrow wiki, and then another arrow, and then it goes to Just a Robot. But anyways, let's see where, I wonder if it's in this personal life. So they was like, Just a Robot was raised in California with two parents. He grew up in a conservative Christian household. He was homeschooled due to not getting vaccinated. I wonder, I feel like I gotta ask my parents, did I get my like vaccine shots and all that stuff? I'm like, what are you, a werewolf? Like what? I don't know. I guess the day when I have kids, I'll cross that bridge when I need to and stuff. But anyways, Just a Robot was encouraged to preach about Christianity and go to Sunday school, but he rebelled against his lifestyle. So it sounds like that his parents probably were good people. It's just that Just a Robot, he probably seen some different, like I say, he's very impressionable, so he'll see the bad stuff and he wants to take up more on that than overall being a good person and things. So then they go on to say Just a Robot eventually left his household and went to college in 2013. He described it being heavily liberal and students becoming easily irritable. One example was when a college student, I think this is it, was a college student went to pick up his sister. I don't know if they talking on like the college student sister or Just a Robot sister, because I know he has a sister. But anyways, went to pick up his sister, and Just a Robot told him to say hi for her. The student proceeded to become enraged and had a meltdown. Just a Robot used to believe that he accidentally might to try to hit on her. Yeah, he definitely said something that was offensive to whoever that kid was. I refuse to believe. My thing is this: the amount of times where I've seen people where it's like, it's let's say if we know a mutual, whether it's a friend or a family, and it's like, if I know of them, I'm like, oh yeah, tell them I said hi. It's like, especially if I hadn't seen them in a long time, what did Just a Robot really say? That's what I would like to know, because I guarantee and I promise you, he most likely, if he done got fired from jobs because he done said something offensive towards women, and that's the thing that just really confuses me. It's like, what's this thing that he has where he has to say offensive things to women, and then he tries to hide behind, oh, well, I say it to men too. Yeah, say it to men, because men ain't going to find, I guess, the stuff that you say offensive, but a woman would. So it's like, why do you think that it's okay? Because, if I say it to men, then women should be okay with what I'm saying. They shouldn't feel special or feel like I'm, being weird towards them, because it's like, okay, so you're being weird to both men and women. It's like probably some animals too. I feel like that Just a Robot, he definitely strikes me as the person, he would do some, let's just say he definitely would be like, some 50 Shades of Grey activities with some animals. Like, I don't think I'm allowed to say it, but I can at least hint to it and stuff. Yeah, he definitely strikes me as the one where, it'll probably be like, oh, whatever happened to him? It's like, yeah, he went to prison because he was trying to get a dog pregnant, and it's like, yeah, it's just, he just strikes me. He strikes me as that individual. It's like, because my thing is this: I have yet to see Just a Robot do something normal, but something weird, yeah, that's right up his alley and stuff. So Anyways, but yeah, but with that part where the college student, I'm like, yeah, it definitely, so it sounds like he was talking, it was the college student's sister, and then, yeah, just because I'm like, why would he trip about, just a robot saying hi to his own, to his sister and stuff, so, because I believe that, I think they did say that he got kicked out by his roommate because he had, I think, destroyed something in their apartment, and now he's living with his sister and stuff. And I think there was like he got into it with his sister talking about her weight and stuff. And I'm like, and you're so happening to be in shape. There was this picture, I think it was one of Just a Robot's ex-girlfriends. She posted this picture, like this was when I was kind of just doing some research and stuff, like when all the drama and stuff start to unfold with Just a Robot. I had seen this picture, and it looked like it was somebody that, it was like some girl that used to date him, and she posted this, like, it was kind of like of his upper body and stuff. He has the body of a person that just woke up out of a coma. Like, he has no tone to his body. And then you could just tell by, like, when that one picture, I think it was Tom Dark, where he posted like a more recent picture of Just a Robot. Actually, if you go and watch that last video that I did on him, and I'm showing like a slideshow of all the different memes that I made, there's the one that I did where it was like a wanted poster and it shows his face. He strikes me as somebody that has like his head is bigger than his body. Like, it's one of those things, I guarantee and I promise you there's a lot of t-shirts in his closets that where the whole part where from the neck, it's been stretched out. Like, he has to get one of them like them 3-6 Mafia like long white t-shirts from 2005, just something that's good for his head, because yeah, he doesn't strike me as the type of person that's in shape, but he's talking about his sister's body and stuff. Yeah, no, and that's the thing, and I'm supposed to believe that he's respectful towards women, respectful enough to where he has a whole girlfriend. I'm gonna talk about that in a moment and stuff. But there's something else that I've seen on this Wikitubia page thing, but it goes on to say after graduating, he created his first account and got a part-time job. However, YouTube friends accused him of pretty much of being a pedophile, death threats, and lying without evidence. Just a Robot struggled with depression and then, yeah, almost offed himself. He eventually joined a Facebook group called The Garden and recovered over time. So, my thing is this: who are these friends that you I guess that were saying these things about you, where they were accusing you? So all the way back then you were being accused of being a pedophile. And then it's funny because it just seems like that's like a trigger in his head, because that was if you guys remember, and I think I did say that too, that if he uploads this video about me, I will react to it. I just don't know when exactly he would upload this video. Probably after this podcast episode drops, I could see him posting a video about me. But anyways, but no, I just remember that it was a month before the Cinebear stuff had happened. He uploads this video, and I showed that video in the last video that I uploaded about him, where he's explaining how to get away with being a pedophile, and he's talking about like, oh, you're taking it out of context. It was a part of another video just for him sometime later, and I think it might have been in that same call where the op block had joined and he left and then had like some private conversation with I believe, yeah, it was Yin, but he goes on and explains it again, how EDP could have gotten out of that situation. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, so this time it wasn't taken out of context. So how am I supposed to believe that you're not a pedophile? And you've been accused of it before like even the first time, because I would imagine that this was probably before the first time that he got accused of being accused of being a pedophile. But no, there was that other time some time ago where it was I think they said it was like some Discord messages that he sent to some girls, and and I guess, yeah, he of course controlled the narrative, made it seem like that the messages were fake. And I'm like, I don't know, I really don't be on Discord like that to know what messages look like and what they don't look like, but he tried to say that they were fake. How am I supposed to believe you on that? You've been accused of being a pedophile like on your early days of YouTube. You've been accused of being a pedophile, I guess, with this conversation with the girls, and then that was news to me, where it was after the Cinebear stuff that he again was accused of being a pedophile, because he was he had it where some kid had drew inappropriate art of Jaden Animations. Or it was, I think it was Jaden Animations. But anyways, and I'm supposed to believe that you're not a pedophile. Yeah, don't have kids. Please do not have kids. I just think that will be extremely damaging to them, that they have a parent like you. And then, and that's what they have to fear of, I guess, for like, because it's one of those things, if he does decide to have kids, I guarantee and I promise you, they're definitely going to leave home at 18, probably sometime before that. It might even be a situation where it's like CPS then came by and had to have taken them, because you're not just a robot. He doesn't strike me as a parenting type. It's one of those things where it's like them kids, it's going to be one of those things where they either realize like how crazy their parent is, and then they just going to leave the house just out of nowhere, probably run away or do whatever, I don't know. But it's either that or they're going to grow up and do something 10 times more crazier than what Just a Robot did in his, when he was or more so like in that age range and stuff, how whatever age they get older. Because now I start thinking about it, I'm like, they could go crazy when they were a kid, or if he does have kids, yeah, they could go crazy when they're at that like elementary age, middle school, high school, it don't really matter. But if that kid, whoever the kid is, girl, boy, whichever, it's one of those things. I just, we gonna have to pray for him. Like that's one thing for sure. But anyways, I don't think there's anything else to I did see where it was they kind of talked on that whatchamacallit, that VidCon situation. And that was, and that's the thing, I more so wanted to talk on, with him, how he likes to lie a lot. Just a Robot. He's big on this, like, anytime when there's some stuff that's I guess incriminating towards me, I have to lie and make it seem like that I wasn't doing those activities. But yeah, let's talk on that VidCon situation. So he stalked some people, I guess, for those that don't know, or if you're new to my podcast. So Just a Robot, he goes to 2 different VidCon events. He stalks the same people on 2 different occasions. Now, this is how I look at these VidCon events, right? They're most likely going to be at a convention center. It's going to be of a place that it's a decent sized place. Probably the size of maybe one football field, a football field and half of a football field, or 2 football fields. Either way, regardless, a convention center, it's a big place. And even the outside of the convention center, there's a lot of different areas that you can explore, right? So the first, I guess, run-in that he has with one, and I think it was the Harley TBS person, right? So Harley goes into a gas station, I think, to get whatever, maybe an energy drink or whatever, I don't know, but they went into, it was like a corner store, gas station store, whichever, but went into a store, and then I believe they said that's when it was either them or somebody that was with them that seen Just a Robot standing behind them, Harley TBS, at this store. You just so happen to go into at the same time, but you just so happen to go into that store where Harley TBS, and then, so that's the background story between Harley TBS and Just a Robot, is that they used to be cool at one point in time, but then I think Harley had criticized their Just a Robot's thumbnail or something like that, saying that they should change it, and then at some point in time said like, hey, we're friends or something like that. I just don't remember word for word what they had said, but anyways, Just a Robot goes on to say that they were never friends. And I'm like, man, that's kind of messed up, and it just trips me out where it's like people try so hard, like his fans, for an example, they try so hard to be involved in Just a Robot circle. And I'm like, that's how he treats his friends. When him and his friends have a disagreement, then he's like, oh, we ain't friends no more. It's like, oh, you're saying that I'm wrong for doing this? Yeah, we're not friends. We're not cool no more. That's who you're idolizing. That's who you're trying to be involved with and stuff. So, but anyways, then I think, who was the other person? Because I can't think of the person's name, but they're sitting down, talking with, I guess, some other people and stuff. Just a robot just so happens to sit in the same area as them. Mind you, this guy, I really do wish that probably after this podcast episode comes out, I guess like maybe if either Harley or whoever that went to like the VidCon event in 2023 and 2024, can you comment down below like where the place was at or the size of the location and stuff? But I would imagine that, yeah, VidCon, TwitchCon, stuff like that, they gonna hold it at like arenas or like just areas where a lot of people can show up and stuff. But just a robot, he just so happened to sit next to one of the people that he has issues with, walks up, I guess has like some fake accent, shakes their hand, and then that's when he like leaned in and grabbed their hand and was all like, oh, I'm just a robot or some stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, what reasons do you have to talk to somebody if they don't want to be bothered with you? That's the problem with Just a Robot and his fans. You can make it as clear as you can possibly make it that you do not want to be bothered with them. You don't want nothing to do with them. Like, leave me alone. He and his fans don't hear that, like I say that because I don't know how many times like where his fans done stalked me over the years, where there's one of his fans, I still believe that he has multiple Twitter accounts dedicated to just talking about me. Then there's this other fan that I was dealing with earlier this year that was like threatening me, making AI pictures and stuff of me, trying to, I guess, accuse me of the same stuff that I accused Just a Robot. Like, for an example, the pedophile stuff. He goes and makes a AI picture of some random black guy that's wearing TMossBoss merch, sitting down talking with a kid, talking about, oh, TMossBoss is talking with kids. And it's like, okay, to anybody that knows me, knows my skin tone and this was like a dark chocolate looking man, okay? I'm caramel complected, all right? Get it straight. But it's like he did that, and I'm like, fam, they like, move on, go on about your business. Like, there's so many different things that you could be talking about and doing. I even had said that with the one fan that has the multiple Twitter accounts dedicated to me. And this is something that I've talked on before, but I guess in case if you are new to my my podcast. So I tell the fan, because this was during 2020. This was during the like kind of like the pandemic, but it was also right after the Breonna Taylor and George Floyd situation. So that was like the big news. That's what everybody was talking about on social media and stuff. And so this guy, he has this Twitter account pretty much public for anybody to see, posting all these, like, anytime when I would make like a social media post, whether it be in my Instagram stories, YouTube community post, tweet, video post, whatever the case is, live stream, he felt that he needed to post about it. So then that's why I took notice of it. And I'm like, fam, you have a serious problem. You're 20 something years old posting about another grown man. Like, you have to realize the issue with that. You have to realize how weird that is. But I guess if you're Just a Robot fan, you don't know what weird is. It's like, it's one of those things, I guess, like when they find themselves in a situation where they're getting arrested. I feel like that's when they realize that that their whole life is getting ready to be taken away from them. That's when they'll realize that what they're doing is weird. But anyways, I go on to say, and I'm like, hey, like, there's more serious things going on in the world, like the Breonna Taylor and George Floyd situation. How about talk on that rather than talking about me every day? Don't nobody care about what I'm doing. Plus, they could just easily go to my account and see what I'm doing. Why would anybody go to your Twitter account just to see what I'm doing? What sense does that make? So, but anyways, I say that. And then he responds back talking about, I talked about George Floyd's situation already, and I don't care for Breonna Taylor's situation. Fam, I still have the screenshot of when he said that. Now, it might not have been word for word what he said, but he said that. That's what he said along those lines, that he doesn't care about Breonna Taylor's situation. I'm like, this is a woman that just wrongfully lost her life. You don't care about that. But let it be Just a Robot. Let it be one of his friends. Let it be one of his fans. If Just a Robot comes out and talks about that, oh, we gotta figure out who that cop is, and then pretty much do the same thing that they've been doing to me for years. Harass me, to that cop, harass them and all this other crap. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how can you go on like social media or just anywhere and say some stuff like that? It's like it's one of those things where it's like people don't sit down and think like, fam, that's disrespectful. It's like, have some respect for that woman's life. But that's the thing. just, and that's one thing that I have always thought about. Like, let's say if something were to happen to me, let me get a little dark real quick. Let's just say something were to happen to me. How do you think Just a Robot and his fans would respond to that? Let's say if like the next video that was posted on my channel was a memorial video saying like, oh yeah, it's, Tyler's memorial service is going to be happening on this day. Yeah, let's say heaven forbid something does happen to me and stuff. Me, I want to die of old age and stuff, but yeah, it's like, life can be cut short. You really don't know what can happen next to you. But how do you think Just a Robot and his fans would respond to that? Everybody is grieving. Everybody's, sharing their favorite videos of mine and stuff, making edits and all these other different things. Just a Robot and his fans will be the only ones still hating after all these years and still trying to. And then, yeah, now that I'm not here to defend myself, oh, they really going to be trying to control the conversation. They're like, oh, yeah, remember when TMossBoss did this? Oh, he was such a bad person and all this other stuff. Am I allowed to defend myself? No. Even when I was, I am still, it's like I'm not doing this from the afterlife, but anyways, but no, even when the drama was active and I would take the time to defend myself, it just went in one ear and out the other. So it's like, fam, it doesn't matter. The thing is this, it doesn't matter whether you here on earth or not. It's like, well, yeah, it's one of those things where it's just, you could just tell by Just a Robot, like his behavior and his fans' behavior. They don't care if a person, they want death. They want people. The thing is this, if this fan from earlier this year then threatened my life, if I hadn't had other fans from Just a Robot, because I remember there was the one fan back, I think it was that the Twitter stalker that got multiple accounts of me and stuff, but I think there was a time where he created some fake accounts, because that's one thing that Just a Robot and his fans, they always do. They'll create fake accounts, comment multiple times underneath those accounts and stuff. But anyways, no, I remember that there was a time where they had called me the N-word, and then said, they either said that I deserve to be hanged or I deserve a noose. One of those two things. But overall, yeah, I think the message was pretty clear what they wanted from me. It's like, yeah, they've been wanting death with me for I don't know how long now. So that's why I'm like, it's one of those things where I never really came out and talked about this, but I guess the reason why, if I were to go to one of those VidCon events, I definitely would make sure of it that I'm either standing close to security or I don't really let people know where I'm at. If I just walk up and see somebody that I know, then I'll say hi to them. But if I know that Just a Robot is stalking these people at VidCon, what do you think is going to happen to me? Somebody that he's had issues with for over, almost 10 years and stuff. But somebody that he hasn't had issues with. And I guarantee and I promise you after this podcast episode drops, oh yeah, he's definitely going to have some problems with me and stuff. But anyways, somebody that he hasn't had problems with over the years, I done said things, he done said things. And then, then with this, like, him being canceled, and then all of the people that have been making videos about him, they praising me like, oh, man, I can't believe, like, you've been dealing with him for this long. I guarantee Just a Robot, he strikes me as the type of individual where I'm looking off in the distance somewhere, all of a sudden, I just feel a sharp pain, something projectile or something stabbing me in my side. I look over and I see it's Just a Robot holding a weapon. He strikes me as that individual that he definitely, if he wanted to, he would try to kill somebody because he doesn't have a understanding or an agreement with them. He had some sort of disagreement. And with me, oh yeah, I just know that if Just a Robot is in the same area of wherever I'm at, I know I'm not safe. And I know it's probably going to be one of those things where I am going to have to, travel around with security or have a bulletproof vest on, whole just a military outfit or something. But anyways, but no, I was kind of exploring that, the situation with him and women. And what I'm trying to figure out is, how does Just a Robot have a girlfriend? Like, no, I gotta turn my fan off for this one. I gotta actually, sit down and try to piece this together and things. How does Just a Robot, maybe not even that, but how does Luke, how does he have a girlfriend? Because it's either one of two things. His girlfriend doesn't really know what he's about, or she does know what he's about, but she's definitely the man of the relationship. She's definitely bending over Just a Robot, and she's having some fun. That I have to say that would be the only way I think that a woman would agree to a relationship with just a robot. She either has what's that one store, Lovers, and she done got some toys from there, and yeah, it's probably one of them toys that you wrap around your pelvis, and just a robot. He's or who knows, maybe it's one of those things where it's like she's one of us, like she's me, she's like me, and just a robot. We all go into the same bathroom and stuff. It's like, yeah, let's see them both go to VidCon. Let's see them go take a bathroom break and what bathroom they go to and stuff, because it's definitely one of those things. It's either she's definitely controlling, or she's standing up with us. We all three of us is using one of the urinals and stuff. But I just don't believe that he has a girlfriend. I just don't. She has to be like a caretaker or something. And I don't know, maybe she's been like a caretaker of his since he was a kid, and she's just really cool with him to where, yeah, she would agree to going out on well, no, because it's like, I think we don't really know who she is. Like, she hasn't came out. You would think that, but no, because there's just so many things running through my mind right now. But you would think that with all this stuff that went down with just a robot, like with the Cinnabear crap and things, you would have thought like she would have came out and tried to defend him, right? She hasn't. And it's one of those things where I'm like, they might not even be in a relationship anymore, because it's definitely one of those things. I remember saying this before, and I'm going to definitely say it again. I definitely think that his girlfriend, she probably realized that this relationship isn't good, and that it's probably for the best that she just leaves the relationship. There is no way possible she sees herself growing old, getting married, having kids with just a robot, and then just living a happily, loving life and things. There's no way. There is no way possible. That woman she would be single for the rest of her life if she realized that she was meeting nothing but men like just a robot. There is no way possible that just a robot is going to be the best boyfriend for her. Here's what I personally think of that relationship. She's gonna look up one day, like, if this is a real woman and that it ain't like no AI or no or I guess, yeah, it's like this is a real woman that agreed to a real relationship with just a robot. She is definitely going to realize it one day that, yeah, this isn't probably the best relationship for me. Or she's probably gonna be going over to him and his roommate's house, and they definitely gonna be recreating some scenes from Brokeback Mountain, because I'm like, there is no way possible just a robot respects that relationship. I'm sorry, but no, I refuse to believe that he respects that all of a sudden now because a woman agrees. And it's one of those things where I feel he definitely had to play like the crying game, like he got way too desperate, or he's probably blackmailing her. He seems like the type where he'll be all like, hey, if you don't agree to a relationship with me, you're just showcasing that you don't like autistic and people with dyslexia. I feel like he has to use that for every single, he gets pulled over by a cop for speeding. Oh, sorry, my autism and dyslexia, I thought it said 30 miles per hour. I didn't realize that there was it was other numbers and all that stuff. Oh, my dyslexia. And the cops are like, I ain't even gonna be going back and forth with you, just slow down, okay? Like, you ain't gotta give me no excuses and all that other stuff. But he's just the robot is big on that. I don't know what his deal is, where every time he gets called out for something, he has to come up with an excuse rather than just being a man, owning up to his mistakes, and then actually apologizing for that stuff. Like, I have to say, that's probably the main thing that everybody wanted for him, was for him to just properly apologize. But he didn't. He tried to double down on what he was saying about Cinnabear because he wanted to have it where she was like on some super team with him and stuff of other canceled content creators. And that's the thing what trips me out, was that he makes it seem like that he just was only doing that video to defend her, right? Like it was just content to him. He turns around, he starts having these intimate conversations with her, talking about, oh, you want to see I ain't gonna say the word, but let's just, change it up, like chicken. Do you want to see my chicken or my joystick, whatever you want to call it and stuff. And, she's just downplaying it because it's like, okay, it's just even her, she said it herself. She was all like, nah, he's just weird and things. But let's just say, Cinnabear, she wasn't gonna pass along on those advances. She actually wanted to see something. Let's say VidCon is happening again, and she's gonna be there. Yeah, let's say this video, it worked out in the best way possible. Like, just robots not getting no hate. He ain't involved in no dramas or none of that stuff. Like, this is his best video, right? if Cinnabear was like, he had that same conversation that he had with, what is that girl's name? Mally Malware, I think. Hold on for a second. Let me just make sure of it. Mally Malware. Yeah, I think that was the call that he had, where he was like going back and forth with her. She was one of the people that he was stalking, at VidCon. But that same conversation that he had where he was all like, oh, come up to my hotel room and all this other, oh, I'm just joking. I guarantee and I promise you, if, Cinnabear was all like, is anybody else going to be in the hotel room? Cause I want to show you something. Oh, let's kind of get a little bit closer with each other. Just a Robot would definitely cheat on his girlfriend, all right, or this quote unquote girlfriend, but it's either one of those things where it's like, yeah, he doesn't strike me as the type that's going to pass up advances on a woman. And my thing is this: if he's making unwanted advances onto women, do you really think he's going to pass up an advance from a woman? No, it's one of those things where it's like, you and anybody that is listening to this podcast episode should know that he is not going to be passing up no advances from Cinnabear. All right. And he came out and said that, and I think it was in a video where he was like, he doesn't find her. So he said it at one point when he was talking with Chud Logic, where he's like, oh, well, and he pretty much confirmed it. He confirmed that he would sleep with Cinnabear. So when he had that call with Chud Logic, when all that stuff was going down, and Chud Logic, I think, had asked him, do you find Cinnabear attractive? And then he goes on to say, he was like, no, I don't. He's like, well, then again, he's like, I am a man and she is a woman, so therefore by default I find women attractive. I find Cinnabear attractive. Yeah, like I said, it's like, if she would have made advances on him, he wouldn't have passed that up. It definitely would have been one of those things where it'd probably be sometime down the road and we'll look up, see this video that just came up out of nowhere titled, I was dating Just a Robot for this odd amount of time and he cheated on me with Cinnabear. Then I feel like that, he might have escaped the cancellation if he had made that video that defending Cinnabear and it was a success, but he definitely would have got canceled for cheating on his girlfriend with Cinnabear. And then it's like, especially with what Cinnabear had did, it's like, how can you really look at what she did and try to downplay it, and then on top of that blame the victim? See, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, Just a Robot, that's one way that I'm always going to describe him if people ask me about him, just to sum him up and just in a few words. Just a Robot is a racist pedophile. And I really don't even know how a combo like that can happen. That's one of them combos where it's like you hear about it in like Netflix documentaries and in TV shows and all that other stuff, but it's like to actually see it live in person. Yeah, no, Just a Robot, he's definitely a racist pedophile. You can't convince me otherwise. It's like you could try to defend yourself, you could try to come up with any and everything's possible on defending yourself, but that's how I'm always gonna view you. So it's like, yeah, you could come up with some elaborative video where it's all like, oh, well, it said that. There is nothing that you can say to me that is going to change my mind about you. All right. So, yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, Just a Robot. Oh, and he's like a pathological, psychological liar, because I have to say just about every conversation that he probably done had on the internet, he done lied at some point in time in that conversation. He lied in that call with Chud Logic. He lied in that call with Mally Malware, where they were talking about the VidCon situation, because he makes it seem like that he wasn't stalking them, but it's like, fam, then that was a crazy thing. So they shared that clip of when I think Harley was talking with one of those the guys in that group, and then but you can see in their face that they seen somebody. It was Just a Robot. And then then they said that he started like fast walking to them and stuff, and I'm like, man, I really do wish that convention center, if this drama had really became popular, everybody was talking about it, I really wish that whoever owns that convention or that place that they held VidCon at, that they would release the security footage, because I guarantee and I promise you, we would see a guy that looked just like Lord Farquaad fast walk into a group of people that's running away from him. And then at the next VidCon 2024, again, I would imagine that most of these places, they're gonna have a bunch of different spots that you can eat at, sit at, chill at, all this other stuff. He just so happened to sit in the same area where they were at. I know it's one of those things where I'm like, you can try, like I said, he's a psychological and pathological liar, but it's a he'll try to like get in your head and change up some stuff because it benefits his argument. He did it with me with that. So if you guys, I can't remember the name of that video, but there was the video talking on the night in December of 2016 when me and him got into it, and then the hate with me really kicked off. But he made it seem like that he just showed up to my channel and was trying to be peaceful, but in reality he showed up to my channel, started insulting me, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you don't even have a reason to be here. Your name wasn't being mentioned, you wasn't being talked about, you're just trying to farm content. And that's the thing with Just a Robot, and I have to say that's the best way to describe him as a content creator, is that he's just somebody that farms content. He ain't doing the content because he's passionate, and because my thing is this: where do you think he would be at right now if he was still that same YouTuber from 10 years ago, where he only has like 300, 400 subscribers to his name and barely can get a video over 1,000 views? I guarantee and I promise you, we would not see Just a Robot till this day. We wouldn't see him. It'd be one of those things where it's like, I probably wouldn't even know of the people that were making videos about him. Nobody would know who Just a Robot is. Even when he made videos on me back then, and then came back in December 2016, I forgot who he was. And then I had to go to his channel and I'm like, oh, this is the guy that was making videos on me earlier this year. But other than that, it's like, you're a forgettable person. You're not somebody that like, oh, I'm gonna go out of my way and purposely try to. No, it's one of those things where I guess if I see content of you, then I'm like, oh yeah, he exists and things. But I have to say though, because it's like, talking on content creating, because that is one thing that I've noticed, where it's like when he made videos about me, you can tell that he wasn't passionate. Like, he was just making those videos because he just wanted to get the upper hand on me and stuff. But that's the thing though, where it's like, if he claims to be passionate about content creating, where do you see yourself 10 years from now with content creation? Because if you still are doing the same content that you were doing 10 years ago, 10 years later in 2025, and you're still doing the same mediocre content that you've been doing, do you really see yourself elevating past where you're at right now? You reached your peak a while ago when you was at like 200 and something thousand subscribers, but then you messed it all up because you wanted to defend a pedophile because you wanted to sleep with her. It's one of those things where I'm like, man, you cannot paint a better picture than that. But at the end of the day, it's like, this is what I'm going to say about Just a Robot and his content. Him as a content creator, there is no passion whatsoever. None. He can try to make it seem like that he's passionate about content creating. I guarantee and I promise you, we are not going to know Just a Robot, no 10, not even probably 5 years from now, unless he comes up with some master plan of making videos and then he just puts himself back on the map. Still, this dark shadow of all the stuff that he's being called out for, that's still going to follow him, but anyways, but then, that's just, him as a content creator, but then the content, just, his videos and all that stuff. To sum it up the best way that I possibly can, his content sucks. Like, no, his content is horrible. It's not content. Here's the thing. Now, picture yourself discovering YouTube for the first time in this year, in 2025. You're discovering YouTube for the first time. There's all these different channels you can watch, right? There's all this different genres that you can watch. You can watch car videos like Motor Trend, and I think there's one called like Car and Driver or any of that. But it's like, let's just say you're wanting to watch the classic Mustang and Camaro fights. You want to see which is the fastest car in the world. Then you end up coming across the Koenigsegg Jesko, and then you learn, I think Koenigsegg is, I think they're based out of Sweden, but then you want to see videos of what Sweden is like, and then you find like some artists that's from Sweden, and then I think, hold on for a second, I gotta look up Koenigsegg and their origins. Where is Koenigsegg from? Koenigsegg, Swedish. Okay, so from Christian von Koenigsegg. Oh, his last name is Koenigsegg. That is such a dope last name. Hold on for a second, I gotta look this guy up. Yeah, he's 53 years old and he created the fastest. That's crazy. That is insane. I did not realize that. I guess because it's like the cars ain't really that old and stuff, but that's wild. Yeah, that's seriously some wild stuff and things. But no, but anyways, back to what I was talking about and stuff. But yeah, then it's like, you look up this guy, Christian von Koenigsegg. Do you see yourself throughout like let's say you got 24 hours to just watch whatever content that you want to watch on YouTube, right? And then you got to like write about it or whatever, dudes like some school stuff or whatever the case may be. But in them 24 hours that you're on YouTube, do you see yourself watching out of nowhere, volunteering to watch this content? Do you see yourself watching Just a Robot's videos? And that just be my question to any and everybody, or no, like my challenge to any and everybody out there, whether you're in school, whether you are at your job, find a Just a Robot video, a random Just a Robot video, and ask somebody, whether you know them or don't know them, have them watch that video, and then have it where they relay it back to you on would they watch more of that content. I guarantee and I promise you, a lot of people are going to be saying no. Why? Because Just a Robot's content sucks. It's not good content. And I'm not saying that because of the videos that he made on me and, it's just I gotta hate on the videos. No, the thing is this. I feel because I just comparing him to the main people that were making reaction videos, or commentary videos on reaction videos. I have to say probably the three main people I think that made videos on them. Well, four actually. Is Jax Films, Leafy is Here, Grade A Under A, and I Hate Everything's. Just a Robot tried to combine them four YouTubers, like the Mount Rushmore of, I guess, people that hated reaction videos. He tried to combine them and then come up with the whole persona of Just a Robot and all that other stuff. But look at how it turned out. People still to this day, the funny thing is, people still to this day watch. You know what? No, let's just open up all of their social blades. Maybe Just a Robot, he might have more going on with his channel, but let's open up his main channel, the bigger channel and stuff, and then Jax. Is it Jax Film or Jack Film? Hold on for a second. Jax. Okay, I think this might be it. I Hate Everything's. Let's see. Okay. And then Grade A Under A. Okay. So, wait a minute. What channel was on? But okay, it was my channel. Okay. So, but anyways, so Grade A Under A, on a daily average, he gets 7,000 views. On the weekly average, he gets 50,000 views. And then in the last 30 days, he's gained 212,000 views, and then 98,000 views. And he hasn't uploaded. Hold on for a second. Let's see when the last time he uploaded Grade A Under A, because I did look his channel up not too long ago, and it's been a while since he uploaded a video. He uploaded a video a year ago. Hold on for a second. 2024. He uploaded a video in 2024. So I can understand why his. Oh, wait a minute. Does he? Because no, there's he streams and stuff. Yeah, let's open up his socials, because he might not even be active when it comes to. Oh, he doesn't have a Twitch account anymore. I thought he did, but anyways, he might not be able to upload no more, because there was he did get a warning strike. He might be trying to I guess get that out of the way and stuff. But anyways, yeah, there was he did get a warning strike, I guess, for doing a video about OnlyFans. I guess, man, I don't know. But yeah, it's he hasn't uploaded a video in a year. And and it's people still to this day watch him. So that's his situation. And he has 3 million subscribers. We're gonna read off Just a Robot last, but Jax Films, so on a daily average, he gets 31,000 views. On a weekly average, he gets 214,000 views, and in the last 30 days, almost 1 million views. And and he has 4 million subscribers, and then dang, he got over 2 billion views. Dang, he doing good. Well, he has had his channel since 2006, so yeah, he's doing good for himself. And then I Hate Everything. He on a daily average, he gets 4,000 views. And then, because Leafy is here. I don't think, his channel doesn't exist no more. I was like, wait a minute, there was another channel that I was supposed to look up. But, he got his channel shut down some time ago. But anyways, I Hate Everything. He has a daily average of 4,000 views, weekly average of 26,000 views. And in the last 30 days, he he gained 126,000 views. And I believe... hold on for a second. Jax Film, I believe he still uploads and stuff. Yeah, because he last uploaded a video 12 days ago. So yeah, he still uploads. I hate everything. Let's see if he still uploads. I don't think he does. Let's see. He last uploaded a video talking about Destiny, which was 10 months ago. And there must be something going on with YouTube, because I'm looking it up and then it's like their header thing isn't loading up properly. But now let's get to Just a Robot. So on a daily average, 1,500 views pretty much. Weekly average, 15,000 views. In the last 30 days, 46,000 views. And he's just pretty much been on a downward spiral of losing subscribers since last year. Because last year he had like 212 I think thousand subscribers, 213. He had over 200,000 subscribers, and he lost thousands of subscribers since then. So, and even when we're comparing our content, I have videos on my channel. There's two videos. There's one video I uploaded earlier this month where it has over 20 million views. And then there's another video that I uploaded back in August that video just recently reached 20 million views. You gonna really try to sit down and tell me that you upload better content than I do and your content can't even break past the million views? Really, sit down and think about that. Do you really think your content is better than mine? Like, yeah, it's definitely one of those things, because I think Just the Robot, didn't he say he used to have a drug problem? He still must have a drug problem, because there is no way possible you truly believe that you have better content than those that have made videos about you, and even myself included. There's no way possible you truly do believe that. All right, so it's like you're just as delusional than your fans if you truly do believe that you upload better content than everybody else. That's why I'm like, yeah, with Just a Robot, I know I have been saying that a lot this year, that he needs to just stop with content creating, but he really needs to stop with content creating. You are not cut out for it, and you never have been and never will be cut out for content creating. So, anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Happy New Year's. Hopefully, 2026 is filled with nothing but positivity and great things for you and stuff. But yeah, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. And yeah, stay tuned for any other content that ain't got nothing to do with Just a Robot this year. Like I said, I will, if he does a call with the Op Block and K-Hug, then I definitely would do a call with Just a Robot. And then I know that there is a content creator that's making a video about Just a Robot. I will react to that video to promote their channel. But other than that, and then I know that he did say that he was making a video about me. Probably after this podcast episode drops, he is going to drop that video. But if not, then we most likely ain't going to never see the reaction, my reaction to that video. Most likely not going to have no call with the Op Block and the K-Hug. So that means there ain't going to be no call between me and him. But there at least will be this video where I can, something good can come out of it. And that's pretty much me shouting out the content creator behind that video. So, but anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.